Hello ratbags, it's Jade Plays Games. Welcome to my We Happy Few first impressions video. When I first saw We Happy Few, I was expecting a sort of story driven game with sort of linear levels that you would follow the story and you just run through it and it'd be this crazy psychedelic tale. What I didn't expect was it to be a hardcore survival game, and that's what it really is at heart. It doesn't have linear levels, it is open world, there are many parts and functions to the game. Food and water is one of the biggest things you're going to be looking at and trying to get hold of when you play the game. It's no exaggeration that I've spent many hours running around just trying to find food and water. Sleep is also one of the next biggest things you're going to need to do constantly. When you first open up some of the sort of item inventory menus, you don't think it's too much, it's just big, it holds a lot of stuff, but there is going to be some heavy crafting involved in the future. You can see we've got different crafting benches, like the chemical and the mechanical. At the moment you can craft anything at any crafting bench, but I imagine in a future update you will need to go to specific crafting benches to craft specific items. The game is very early alpha at the moment. There is many things not finished. They reckon they're around 50% done. Through checking the latest weekly update that they're giving on the forum site and the website, you can see they plan to add much more content. When you open up the map initially after exploring, you realise you are in a self-contained area, and to move to the next area you normally have to complete little quests. These quests at the moment are a little bit buggy. Sometimes they don't always show up properly. Sometimes they show up kind of out of sync, so you don't really know what you're doing with them. But if you persevere and you try and just resolve as many of the quests as possible, it does open up brand new areas. Areas are accessible by bridges, and each bridge has a sort of quest or mini quest towards it. And when you go to these areas, they're distinctly a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit different. The land you see when you first start is the wasteland. It's filled with the wastrels of the game. These are the people that don't take the happy pill or can't afford the happy pill. Otherwise known as downers, these people are absolutely batshit mental. You will spend a lot of your time in this part of the game, and at first when you've done this for a while you do kind of wonder if there's anything more to it. But I heavily suggest getting through the quests, open up the bridges so you can travel to the next section. I've only actually seen videos and previews of the next part of the game, as I still haven't progressed that far in it. I've just been enjoying running around the town. Like I said, it is a bit glitchy, there are certain things and markers that aren't necessarily working. But it's worth it. It is rough around the edges. If you're the kind of person that doesn't like waiting for something to be fixed, or you really can't stand early access games, I definitely wouldn't buy this right now. But if you do like early access games, you like feeling a part of the journey and you like the idea that you're watching things grow and develop, this game is much better than others that I've experienced in early access. The fact that it's 50% complete speaks volumes about how much content's finally going to be in it and the systems available. You can see all these mini quests, and this is just the first area where you come to be. But you must get it into your brains, guys. It is a survival game. It has many story elements, it's got great art, it's got great direction. But it is a survival game. Controls are a little bit clunky, as you would expect at the moment. Sometimes you've got to think you've got some uses for items and they don't necessarily pop up properly what they can do. But again, you can't really be too critical as it is an early access game. The graphics are amazing. I love the art style. Everything's colourful and vibrant. It can be a bit easy to get lost though in the first section, as all the houses look the same. And because the map is literally just a grid, you can find yourself getting disorientated very quickly. It doesn't help that it's procedurally generated as well. Everyone's map is different. It will have the same tasks and same quests, but they will be in different locations. Now some of these quests are exactly the same, and some of them might be different events that are in different parts of the map. So no matter what game you're playing, if it's on a new game, a new console, a different friend's game, you won't find exactly the same layout. And this really adds itself to replayability. They have future plans to add another 2 characters to the game, and all 3 of these characters are going to have some story elements to it, and it'll be fully fleshed out. At the moment, apart from the intro, there is no other story elements other than just what Arthur, the main character at the moment, is talking about. Oh, she doesn't like me, I'm running. The combat in it does feel a bit sluggish, and it is quite hard to hit people sometimes. But again, it definitely feels it's because it's an early access game, and this is the reason why.
The ravens have gone from the tower. Don't tell anyone.
What happened to the gardens?
The sound is amazing as well. All the voice actors are really quite cool so far, and they still haven't even recorded most of it. It's going to be really interesting to see what else they come up with. So if you like survival games, you like hard survival games, I'd thoroughly recommend it. If you're looking for more of a story, don't get this game just yet. Wait until it's been updated a bit more with story elements. But be warned, they don't actually plan to release much of the story until the full release of the game. They want the game to be kept a little bit of a mystery, and so that it's not spoiled for anyone picking up the brand new game. They plan to add content very quickly. A bit like Ark Survival Evolved, I think they're planning to add stuff every single month. I wouldn't expect to see the full release of this game though till maybe Christmas time. If that. The game is very unique. I can't say I've come across a game like this in a long time. Yes, there are plenty of survival games out there. Whether it's like The Forest, Ark Survival Evolved, Stranded Deep, Subnautica, some of them have some really unique elements. But I've yet to come across a game that's got so much crazy characters in it. And it's still a survival game, an open survival game. There obviously will be story elements in it that mean you will have to progress. But it's a kind of being like in a stage or an area where you kind of have to level up before you can progress to the next part. In that way, it's like some old school RPGs where you had to really get your character leveled right up before you could go to the next boss fight. I love this game. I'm going to be carrying on playing it. Some big games coming out at the moment like No Man's Sky, and of course I'm still dedicated to Ark Survival Evolved. But I'm definitely going to be making room for this on my channel because I just think it's very unique. So let's give out some final scores for the first impressions. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 so far. For gameplay and the story. Even though there is no story. I just like the idea of running across NPCs, even though if they're just saying very similar things. It's just quite funny running around this world. Graphics. For graphics, I've got to say I love it. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 for the graphics at the moment. The colour, the art style really pops out. It's really unique. I haven't noticed any issues in tearing or popping, not even any clipping. The game runs pretty well. Sound and ambience. There's always a nice little bit of music in the background, or they've got the radios playing. And whenever you run across these nutters,
Told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
You've always got some little soundbite come in, and it really lends itself to the game. It makes you feel like you're in a evolving world. If you're someone that doesn't like glitchy games at all, you can't stand it when things go wrong in a game, I wouldn't suggest picking it up just yet. Maybe wait a couple of updates. But if you like seeing how things evolve and you want to play a good survival game for the next couple months, definitely pick up We Happy Few. Longevity and pricing. The pricing's not too bad for the game at the moment. It's £23, and obviously when it fully releases it'll probably be around the $29.99 mark, and I will definitely buy it for that price. Like I said, it's a survival game, so there's many ways to play it. You can literally just run around gathering loads of resources so you can build yourself right up so you've got the best equipment. And they plan to add 2 more characters to the game. So I presume these will be in the early access, so even more replayability. So overall, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Considering it's just come out, it's still 50% complete, it's an early alpha like I've kept saying, I think the game is amazing. It's got some really cool, interesting ideas, and if they keep fleshing it out the way they plan to, it is going to be one of my best games of all time. Starts using the crafting system a bit more, and it irons out some of the problems with the side quests. I think it would definitely be worth picking up, even in early access. So it just boils down to what you're prepared to live up with. Occasional bugs, that means some of the quests don't always let you know if they've been completed or not. Is that enough to stop you picking up a game? Or do you really want to make sure the game's running fully well before picking it up? I honestly would pick up the game. I will say lastly though, the difficulty does spike up a little bit. Like I said, with the survival elements, you need to find things all the time, be constantly on the move for food, water and sleep. So if you're not a big fan of survival, don't be playing this game. So, I'm Jade Plays Games. I hope this video has given you a little bit of help in deciding what to do with this game and let you know whether it's a game for you to pick up and play. I can't praise it enough at the moment, and I'm so glad because it's still only in the start of its development. Check out all the rest of my Let's Plays. I'm hoping to get back on it after a few technical issues, and I plan to release them daily. I'm Jade Plays Games. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys later.
To sleep, perchance to dream.